Hey guys, welcome back to Raising Ash, and today we're going to take another look at a city challenge, and I wanted to show this one particularly off because this is sometimes how the frustration of actually playing in leagues and cities goes when you're playing for these type of challenges. They're going to shuffle out their cards here, and he looks like he's going to do a pile shuffle, and we're going to go ahead and move on from there. Yeah, a lot of opponents really love to shuffle their decks, and it's very good. You actually want to look for clumps within the deck, so sometimes I'll flip that deck around and just take a look at if I have too many water energies lined up together, or if I get a lot of Pokemon lined up together, what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and distribute those shuffles out and just move those around to just distribute them throughout the deck. You really want a good separation of your cards whenever you're playing. When you don't get that good separation, a lot of times a dead draw could happen. So a lot of times I'll just flip the deck over, take a look at each one of the Pokemon, and sort of see if I am getting clumps in there. If I see like two Pokemon together that are the same type of Pokemon, I'll shift one up to the front and the other one back to the end. So that way I can have a good separation of the cards. If I get double trainers together, I'll do the same type of thing where I'll take the same type of trainer and shift them in different spots of the card. These guys right now are currently doing just the standard shuffle and just mixing up the cards. And I personally like to go ahead and go through the deck, look for the clumps, separate the clumps out, and then shuffle. I find that that type of shuffle actually performs a lot better than just the standard mixing up the cards and shuffling the cards as they're doing at this point. But everybody has their preference, and there is a lot of superstition that goes around it, especially when you're playing at the competitive level. You do what you're comfortable with, and in the end, that's what your consistency is always to do. So he's going to go ahead and roll heads. Let's see who draws first. They're going to go ahead and draw out on this game, and they're going to take their 7 cards. Ahead and adjust the camera at that point. It looks like they both mulligan. Now, when you mulligan, you're going to take your 7 cards, and the opportunity here is to get a Pokemon. If you get a Pokemon, you can actually put that Pokemon in the active position. If you don't get a Pokemon, that's called a mulligan. A mulligan allows your opponent to draw a card prior to the game starting. Now, that could be a massive issue if you mulligan a couple times. You can allow your opponent to draw more cards. In this case, they both mulliganed, so neither of them are going to be taking up any cards. Oh, we have one with a Pokemon and another with a mulligan. He's going to have to shuffle his hand back in, and this time the other opponent will be able to take a card. He's going to be able to peel that card off from the top of the deck. That is massive. When you definitely are able to take more cards on the first turn than your opponent, it definitely puts you in a better position of winning. Oh, we have 2 mulligans. 2 mulligans is pretty huge. Now he's going to draw up. So he's already put 1 card down. He's going to start out with about 8 cards in his hands. And having that type of maneuverability at the start of the game is just incredibly important. So we're going to go ahead. Oh, he draws a Bunnelby, and he draws into the Bunnelby. Now the first start of their Pokemon, he's going to take his mulligans and draw up again. Looks like I see a Glade in that deck, and I also see he might be playing Maxis. It looks like he does play a Maxis, maybe some Dark Energy there. He has a Manetric, so he's going to toss away, it looks like the Maxis, the Glade, and the Dark Energy. It looks like this is a Manetric Yveltal. Galley deck. I haven't seen these type of decks before. I've seen the Yveltal Galley deck, but to throw the Manetric in, that is definitely an original idea by the player. Um, he's going to toss away the Trainer's Mail, take the Ultra Ball. He's probably going to want to get down the Yveltal? And Baby Yveltal, I would assume. Let's see what he takes right here. Oh, he's gonna go for the miniature. Boy, this these cards that he's laying down are just absolutely gorgeous. He has two full art Manetrics, and those Manetrics are just as pretty as can be. I tell you what. He does have the Baby Yvelta. He does get the Manetric. Um, he can. My preference is always to get down to Baby Yvelta just in case some head ringers and crushing hammers start coming down on me. I like that Baby Yvelta. He's got a dark energy in there, and oh, he decides to fail that that Trainer's Mail. Oh, my apologies. He was playing Trainer's Mail, so he's gonna draw up and try and draw into him. He hasn't quite played. I thought I saw another Manetric in there. He hasn't quite played. Oh, a Mega Manetric. He does have the Baby Yveltal. Let's see. Yes, he will drop the Baby Yveltal, and that is a great move. He's going to start off with a Dark Energy up to Manetric, possibly into a retreat, and then he can start charging these Pokemon. I was assuming maybe I would see Yveltal, just a standard Yveltal EX, come out. Let's see if he can go ahead and draw into that. He's going to shuffle his hand up. He played the Via Seeker to, I believe, the N. So he will be taking up 6. Both of them will be taking 6, which I think will help the opponent out, as I saw that his hand didn't have too much to work with. The thing about the end is that it's one of those cards where if you play it, you could be helping your opponent out, especially early game where they don't have much in their hand. So he's going to put down the Spirit Link on the Manetric, and he's going to take a look at his cards. He definitely wants to get the Mega Manetric out. And I tell you what, there's just a lot of full arts and hollows down on the. It's going to VS Seeker, look like the Judge. And I think that's what he played on first turn. He played the Judge. The Judge was a massive, big deal to play on the first turn. And the reason why it was such a good card to play is because it's going to limit your opponent's hand size to 4. By limiting your opponent's hand size to 4, you really limit the options that they can take out of their hand. So they're really relying at that time to draw into a Sycamore. So, oh, he rolls tail, so he's not going to be able to take that energy. He rolls heads. He does take that energy off of him this time. Again, he only has 4. Oh, and he's gonna have to go down to a DCE to Bumblebee and mill the other opponent's deck, taking the energy out. Now, putting a lightning energy inside the discard pile is not that big of a deal because Mega Manetric does move the energies around once he gets evolved. Now he has an Ultra Ball. He probably can go into the Mega Manetric as Bumblebee isn't really a threat at this time. I think he's debating at this point in how he wants to play it. He does have the Judge in his hand, so he can judge again after the Mega Manetric is laid down. Or he can go into the Ultra Ball and take Shaman and draw up for 6. I think he's making that decision right now. Oh, and he decides to pass the turn. So it's the other opponent's turn, and he's noticing that the opponent really doesn't have anything in his hand. So why judge? Why do anything at this point? Just let's go ahead and draw some cards, get to the Mega Manetric for the free retreat, bring up the Yveltal, and then go ahead and do 30 damage on the Bumblebee. You can now have you can start your charge now. Oh, that's it. That's game. That Judge at the beginning was very massive. As you can see, playing that Judge really ended the game. It didn't give the opponent any type of maneuverability at start of game. And that is one of the biggest reasons we're seeing an uprise in the judge play. So you can play the judge a first turn, limiting your opponent's hand size and forcing them to look into different avenues. Most of their avenues, because an item deck is 22 item, a deck contains around anywhere between 19 and 22 items. If they draw into items, it's really hard to get the next Pokemon out. So they're looking for either Ultra Balls to go into a Shaman, or they're looking for another supporter so they can draw up to their cards. In this case, nothing had worked out for the opponent. Thank you for tuning in to Raising Ash. You guys have a great time day wherever you're at. This is Raising Ash out.